What's your happy place? Maybe it's been a long day, you just clocked out of work after dodging your boss because they won't let you forget about that time you dropped the kid's order. You come home from the big family dinner where Uncle Jimmy wouldn't stop trying to convince you that this latest crypto investment, this is the one that's going to take off. Maybe the cute girl at the coffee shop that you finally woke up the courage to ask out laughed. Where do you go? For a walk down the river? Listen to the soft waves lapping the bank? Kick a ball in the backyard, just bash it against the fence? Curl up with a good book, run away into your imagination with Kaladin and Syl? I've always thought that the best happy places are the ones that are shared. A place where I can escape, where someone's given me a little piece of themselves, of how they wish the world would work. Anyway, here's why Pokemon Gold is the best Pokemon game of all time. Everyone knows Pokemon. You know Pokemon. Your mum knows Pokemon, even if it's only one of these guys. But back in 1990, finding themselves in a rapidly changing Japan, 3 guys decided they'd take their love of role-playing games and kaiju and turn it into the biggest moneymaker of all time. When Satoshi Tajiri, Ken Sugimori, and Junichi Masuda got together, they decided to make a game about capturing the critters just outside your home and helping your mates. In an increasingly urbanizing Japan, the joy of bug catching just wasn't what it used to be when they were kids. So they started working on an RPG that would let you do just that. It took them 6 years, because it turns out making games costs money, and they developed other games to keep the lights on. But in 1996, Pokemon Red and Green came out for the vanilla Game Boy and slowly built themselves an audience. In 98, Pokemon was translated to English as the Red and Blue versions, and the anime was out, and Pokemania just took over. It was the boomer version of that temporary world peace we all experienced when Pokemon Go came out. Pokemon Gold and Silver were developed in the interim and released in November of 99 in Japan and October 2000 in the US and Australia. Christmas in 2000 was a good year for little me because Santa gave me Pokemon Gold and a blue Game Boy Color. Santa gave me the blue one and my brother the green one. Somehow Santa knew the game I wanted but not the color, but it's okay. I traded with my brother. So just in case you're too old to have played a Pokemon game, or too young to have been caught up in the hype, the game of Pokemon is pretty simple, and has kind of fallen into a pretty reliable pattern. You're a child, around the age of 10. Hey, I was a child at the time. Peak relatability. And as a child, you go to help your neighbor, the local Pokemon professor, who gives you a Pokemon. It's the only one of its kind that you'll ever encounter. Then you travel the country, you encounter myriad bizarre and wonderful creatures, and battling with your Pokemon companions to prove that you are the very best, like no one ever was. And yeah, it's Pokemon, the creatures look awesome. Look at this chunky boy. I didn't even know this guy existed until I was at uni. Godzilla as a pet. Hell yeah. The colors and environments are vibrant. The music is fun, if a little repetitive. But the bit that draws me in every time is the world that the boys construct. Pokemon Red and Blue was set in the Kanto region, which is inspired by the real-life Kanto in Japan, the increasingly developed region that inspired the series. Gold and Silver, however, were set in Johto, which is inspired by the Kansai region next door, where Kanto is developed and home to Tokyo. The Kansai region is more historical, known for temples and gardens, and the two butt up against each other. But we start in Johto, a little rural town with a lake. We wander past the Rattatas and Pidgeys and Centrets, and we find a professor living in what amounts to the middle of nowhere. And we go past him and wandering into the first real town of Violet City, where there's a functioning shop and a Pokemon gym, the basic standards of civilization in these games. We also find the Sprout Tower, first of several places cared for by sages, and filled with reverence for the power of Pokemon. The elder here says, people and Pokemon test their bonds to build a bright future together. And before you move on, he says, I hope you learn and grow from your journey. Just to the south, we have a series of ruins which require a puzzle to unlock and reveal several strange Pokemon. And further south, we have Azalea Town, where Kurt, a local man, builds his own Pokeballs the old-fashioned way, out of berries that you can pluck across the region. There's also a woodcutter who works with their Farfetch to cut trees and produce goods for the town. These are people who are down to earth. They show reverence for the land and animals around them. You can even get their phone number, and they'll call you each day for a rematch with a team that levels and evolves, just like yours does. Or just update you on their lives and their pet that they think is the very best in the world. And they're generous too. Most of the people you meet are happy to help each other out, or will swiftly repay a favor. There's even this set of siblings, named after each day of the week. There's Monica for Monday, Frida for Friday, Sunny on Sunday. 3 out of 7 is not too bad. Hang on. Tuscany for Tuesday? Tuscan? If you can find where they're hiding on their day, they'll give you an item that you can't get anywhere else. Back to the exploration though. Past Azalea Town is the Ilex Forest, grossly overgrown and home to a shrine of the spirit that watches over both the town and the forest. It separates this little Pokeball smith from Goldenrod City. Goldenrod City is massive. It's easily the biggest city in the game. It has a Pokemon daycare where you can breed Pokemon like a pet mill. It's got a giant mall that's literally 10 times the size of any of the normal shops. A gaming corner, a flower shop, a bike shop. There's an underground that has all the bad guys that are preparing to take over the city. And you explore all of this before you can progress, because there's a wild Pokemon blocking the way. So little me, when I played this game, walked into every single one of these buildings and spoke to every single character to get what I needed to progress. It's not a living, breathing world, but it's pretty bloody close. And the design of the game, the daily growth of the berries, the friends who call you for a rematch, and even just blocking the road ahead all encourage you to explore and appreciate this. The map's even laid out so that turning back and visiting other places isn't hard to do, with that crossroads in the center. And on top of that, there's plenty of places you don't need to explore, but they're there if you want to. Caves off the beaten path, or areas you can only get to after learning a new trick, like how to surf atop your Pokemon, or having them punch through some really tough rocks. It always felt like the world was expanding. Every step your character makes, the world keeps growing, and yeah, you run into an edge eventually, it's a game. But then you can turn around and explore another direction, or a cave. And here's where Game Freak made a bold choice, but one that really cemented in my mind that this is a real world. Let me set the scene. You finish watching Pokemon on your old school CRT TV before Mum and Dad woke up, and the poker rap comes on. Not the Gesamtkunstwerk by Brian David Gilbert, but the original. And it says, there's 150 or more to see. And I just couldn't wait to see what else was out there. And then the second generation of games comes out, and the ads all say there's 100 new Pokemon out there. Good luck! So you play through the game, you get all the badges, you've explored the whole world that you have this nifty little map for. And then when you think you've done it, you've been everywhere, you've caught so many Pokemon and proven that you have what it takes to be the very best like no one ever was. You cross that lake from your hometown, and there's an entire new map. The whole region from the first game. Because the new Pokemon weren't just in the new region, they've been discovered all over the world. You see this cute little pup/hellhound? It's only available after basically beating the game and then some. And just because you know where they are doesn't mean it's easy to find, because, and I cannot stress this enough, these Pokemon and all the new ones, they eluded the players of the first game. I know it's just a game, but if you're willing to buy into this world, into Kanto and Johto and the existence of Pokemon and the people who have no idea how Pokemon eggs come into existence, they were always there. The world's the same, but our understanding of it changed. It's not just the Pokemon being updated either. As you explore Kanto, the region from the first games, you see how things have changed. The volcano on Cinnabar Island erupted and demolished the town. There's a new bullet train that's been built connecting the two regions. The city has been redesigned to accommodate the new train, and characters have had to move after their home was demolished. One of the gym leaders, Jasmine, used to train rock-type Pokemon. She had an Onix that she loved, but when it evolved and became a Steel-type, a previously unknown type, she became a Steel-type gym leader. Another thing that sets these characters aside from other games is that the bosses have their own lives. Upon first entering Jasmine's town, she's absent from the gym. How often does the boss of the dungeon up and leave? It'd be so weird to walk into what is clearly a boss room and just have it empty. Instead, Jasmine's helping a sick Pokemon that, when it's healthy, uses its light to illuminate the lighthouse. Lance, the champion and basically the endgame boss, he doesn't just wait around for you to challenge him. He travels and solves problems, and is instrumental in assisting you defeating the local terrorism group that is Team Rocket. These people move and work in the world. They respond to events. I'm older now. I know it's just a game. I know Pokemon aren't real, despite my wishes. I know that if I never enter Olivine City, Jasmine never has to look after the sick Pokemon. But when I relax, when I listen to the music, when I've had a hard day and I come home and my Alligator can take a lightning bolt and manage to hold on and fight back, when I can help these people, that's real enough for me. There's a sense of verisimilitude that the world, this secondary world, exists. It follows its own rules. Time advances. It feels real. I get to share in the world that Tajiri, Sugimori, and Masuda all built together. To share in their love of role-playing games. To share in their love of collecting little critters. To share in a world where people help each other every day. Where the good guys win. The world can be a scary place, but JoJo's full of people working together and challenging each other to improve. That's why it's my happy place.